With Dragon Ball Super manga chapter number 39 released, fans within the Dragon Ball community have been completely torn on the ideals that the manga chapter had presented in showcasing a much different version of the Tournament of Power compared to what we have been originally accustomed to, which to an extent has created a division within the community between the anime fans versus the manga fans, as the following spoilers for Dragon Ball Super manga chapter number 39 reveal very interesting fights and showcases that have never been displayed in the anime, which to its credit we will be reviewing the full manga chapter on this channel in approximately 2 days once Viz Media drops their English translation, so make sure you guys tune back onto the channel in order to follow up with the full Dragon Ball Super manga chapter number 39 English review, as the latest Dragon Ball Super manga chapter kicks off the battle between Toppo and Vegeta, and it looks like Toppo has been really battle damaged by the end result of having to fight Vegeta, in which of course we see Toppo rip his suit off completely as he's beginning to talk to Vegeta. We see Casserole on down onto the ground, Dispo seems to be struggling, and all Jiren seems to be doing is looking out in the distance, not giving a care in the world. However, on the other side of the arena, we finally get to see the showcase between Gohan and Super Saiyan Kefla, and this fight is most interesting because we already know that Gohan seems to be relative enough in keeping up with Super Saiyan Kefla's power. Why? Because it looks like every single time Kefla throws a punch, Gohan is able to dodge, but instinctively enough, every single time Gohan throws a punch, Kefla counters as well. And Kefla had created a very unique way in countering Gohan's punches, flinging him with her feet. As Gohan lands pretty hard onto the ground, we see Kefla just stomping on his abdominals over and over and over again until Gohan manages to get the upper hand and grabbing onto her ankles and kicking her in her lower back. And again, power scaling in this particular manga chapter is off the charts. Why? Because it seems like Gohan, based on his overall design and the way he looks, doesn't seem to be in his ultimate form. He doesn't have the bang coming down from his hair, so he does look like he's fighting perhaps maybe at his fullest, but it isn't really displayed as of this manga chapter if whether or not Gohan is fighting using his ultimate power or not. But either way, it's irrelevant to the fact that he is still keeping up with Kefla. While over out in the distance, we get to see how Piccolo and Gurren are talking about Gohan's fight with Kefla, and Goku seems to be observing this, of course, while looking back at Jiren and speaking to him, but Jiren doesn't also seem to be concerned either. But what's really cool about this is we see Goku power up to his mastered Super Saiyan Blue state, and he seems to acknowledge Jiren in challenging him once more, because as they stand off, directly in front of them, we see the fight between Toppo and Vegeta. Right behind them is Gohan versus Kefla. The strongest in the universes collide, and Toppo and Vegeta really do beat each other up so bad to where we see Vegeta, he's battle damaged and bloody, Toppo is battle damaged and bloody, but it looks like Toppo is not giving up. Why? Because Toppo looks to be unleashing more of his power against Vegeta, but Vegeta doesn't seem to be concerned at all. Over on the other side, we see Mutant Roshi and Android 17 standing off against Dispo and Casserole, as once more the context in which the dialogue is being displayed will be fully translated in about 2 days, so make sure you guys come back on the channel to find out fully what each character is saying to one another, especially with the representation of Jiren, Toppo, Vegeta, Roshi, 17, everybody. So we see how Dispo and Casserole are basically squaring off against 17 and Roshi, but over out somewhere else, Frieza doesn't seem to be concerned at all, and Beerus is yelling at him. Everyone seems to be kind of looking down at Frieza, because at this point now, Frieza's not getting involved. He looks over his shoulder, he sees how 17 and Roshi are ganging up on Dispo and Casserole, so he wants no part of that. However, over out in the distance, we also see a battle damaged and bloody Gohan and a battle damaged and bloody Kefla. Now what's interesting about this is Kefla seems to be laughing at Gohan, either surprised at the idea that Gohan is pushing her that far, or maybe it's based on her overconfidence. We don't really know, but instead of rejoicing on the fact that Kefla is holding her own, we see Champa looking down, and he seems to be very disappointed. And as he observes Gohan's fight with Kefla, Champa stands up, and Champa begins to talk to Vados. And I think at this given point, Champa has fully acknowledged that something is going to happen to his warrior, because the final standoff between Gohan and Kefla lead them in charging against one another, and we get to see how by the very end, Gohan and Kefla land a groundbreaking, earth-shattering punch to the face on each individual's cheek as Gohan punches Kefla, Kefla punches Gohan, and both of them seem to hit each other so hard that both of them end up ringing each other out. So yes, Gohan rings out Kefla, and Kefla rings out Gohan. So to preserve the relevancy of Gohan in this manga, Toryotaro in some way, shape, or form had wrote Gohan out to be equal to Kefla in this manga, even though, theoretically speaking, Gohan should be vastly inferior to Kefla. In some way, shape, or form, for some weird reason, Gohan is able to match up against her, and he knocks her out, as opposed to Kefla having to be wrung out by Goku. Kefla also knocks out Gohan, and that's the end of that chapter, as we get to see how Champa acknowledges the fact that both of them have not only defused, but all of his fighters seem to have been eliminated. And in traditional fashion, Universe 6 has now been erased. So of course, just like how we saw in the anime, Champa gives Beerus the tongue with the eye and the finger before he disappears, and the last remaining person on that bench is of course Vados. Beerus doesn't seem to have any words, but we see him acknowledge the fact that Champa has been erased. But then over out in the distance, we see how Goku's just tossing ki blasts left and right. He's shooting at Jiren directly, and Jiren isn't even moving. Goku's just busting out shots left and right, just circling around Jiren, sort of like using a machine gun and trying to catch him off guard. And then as Goku shoots him in the face, Goku charges in with the punch, but through the smoke we see how all of Mastered Super Saiyan Blue Goku's attacks did absolutely nothing. And just as Jiren blocks the punch with his left hand, he punches Goku with his right. And just with one single shot, Goku is sent hurtling through rocks, through debris. He's smacking all types of objects in front of him. He comes crashing down, and we see him. He's tired, he's worn out, he's bloody, he's bruised. And Goku looks out, and he begins to power up even more, pushing himself more and more and more. And again, all of the subtext as to what they're saying is going to be translated here, so make sure you guys are subscribed, because Goku here looks beautiful in the fact that he's transforming. We see the veins all around him, and then he hits his max, the maximum he can push himself in using Mastered Super Saiyan Blue, and he gives Jiren a ferocious left hook to the stomach, followed by a few shots to the face. And it looks like at first Jiren seems to be a tad bit surprised, but as Jiren is taking these punches later on, he easily just flicks Goku away with a simple right swoop, and Goku goes flying off in the distance again. And Jiren is grabbing onto his neck. He seems to be cracking it, kind of mocking Goku and the idea that he really isn't on his level. But then over back on the battlefield, Roshi squares off with Casserole, and it looks like the Elder Kai, Whis, and everybody else alongside the Supreme Kai seem to be acknowledging this. But then we see Casserole's punches be reflected on Roshi's glasses. Roshi grabs onto Casserole and then eliminates him. And as Roshi eliminates him, he looks behind him and he sees his student. He sees Goku. He sees that Goku's really hurt, and he sees how Goku stands back up. And this gave me a Dragon Ball feel, the original Dragon Ball feel in teacher and student having to reunite and fighting alongside each other. But then we see how Roshi and Goku are talking to one another, and they seem to be acknowledging something. It looks like Roshi perhaps has something up his sleeve, in which as the dialogue continues, it looks like we're going back and seeing Korin, King Kai, we see Kami and Popo. Everything seems to be going back to the original days of when Goku was growing up. We see how he's come so far, and as he's beginning to speak, Roshi tells Goku to stand back as Roshi takes the charge. Now this is where the manga chapter completely is out of whack. So as Master Roshi is charging towards Jiren, we see how Jiren throws the left hook, and then Master Roshi uses Ultra Instinct, in which it is implied in the manga it is more of a form of a technique than an actual power. We see him move away from Jiren as he delivers a strike. But of course, as Jiren blocks, Jiren is shocked out of his mind, because this old man, someone who had told Ten Shinhan back in the day that yes, you guys have surpassed me and there's not much I can do, Roshi, out of all people, is contesting and fighting toe-to-toe against one of the universe's strongest fighters ever. And we see how Roshi is slip and sliding under Jiren. He's moving away, he's back flipping from Jiren. Jiren can't seem to punch Master Roshi. And again, I want to clarify this. Jiren is not using his full power. He is heavily suppressed, and evidence goes further as to why. But as Jiren is punching Roshi, he's moving out the way. Beerus is shocked, Krillin's shocked, Goku's shocked, hell, even Whis is shocked. But as we go into other scans, we see how Jiren is able to graze Master Roshi's mustache. He's able to graze Master Roshi by the ribs. So Master Roshi seems to also acknowledge that even while using this, Jiren is still in some way, shape, or form able to touch him. And this surprises Whis, this surprises everybody, and based on my own insinuation, it looks like Beerus is giving the old man some respect. But unfortunately enough, a lot of the memes have come out in basically stating that Roshi's greater than Jiren, Roshi's greater than Goku, Roshi's greater than Broly. No, because by the end of this, as Master Roshi has the scratches on his face and he feels the effects of his ribs by the punch of Jiren, he charges in and Jiren kind of looks down, then gives Roshi this little glare. As Roshi goes for the punch, Jiren moves out the way, and just like how we saw at the end of Battle of Gods, when Whis basically chopped Beerus into a sleep, we see how Jiren delivers a brutal chop to the back of Roshi's neck, and that's all she wrote for Roshi. All it took was one simple chop to the back of the neck, and Master Roshi is eliminated. Now again, once the English translations come out, we're gonna have a full explanation as to why Roshi was able to dodge Jiren, but then we get to see how once Jiren had eliminated Roshi, it looks like Whis and Beerus are acknowledging the fact that there are only a few of their own fighters left squaring off against the Universe 11 Warriors, and then it's down to Goku and Jiren. Now here's what's crazy about this. We see Goku looking down, his hair's covering his face, Jiren seems to be talking to him, Jiren sticks his hand out, and Jiren blows Goku away. Now at this point, Goku is basically being toyed with. Jiren, if he wanted to, could easily eliminate Goku, no question about it, and it looks like he was about to, because at the very end, we see Jiren put his hands together and he's about to hammer strike Goku right in the back of his head, right behind his neck. And as we see Goku talking, as Jiren is coming down in wanting to deliver the final shot, we see how Goku begins to change. His hair is different, his eyes are different. Migate no Gokui, Ultra Instinct Omen appears for a second. Jiren misses, Jiren smashes the ground, Jiren looks over and he notices something. He notices a different Son Goku. Krillin notices, Beerus notices, and Jiren is surprised. And as Goku turns around, he doesn't seem to know what he actually did, because Goku seems to be surprised. Beerus is sweating because he's shocked out of his mind, as is everybody else. However, it looks like in this manga, Goku does not achieve Ultra Instinct as a means of getting hurt to the point where he loses consciousness, but it looks like it was from the effects of Roshi having to be wrung out that Goku had achieved this power. Then, by the very end, we see how Goku and Jiren are talking. Vegeta is shocked because Vegeta can't believe what he's looking at. It looks like it's a different Goku, a much stronger Goku. However, as we get to see how even Beerus is putting his hands together, seemingly worried, Jiren seems to be ready, Goku gets in position, they both charge at one another, which again, Toriotaro had created an amazing visual effect in seeing these two go head on, but unfortunately enough, Migate no Gokui, Ultra Instinct Omen, didn't even last more than 5 pages. Why? Because as soon as Jiren throws the punch, Goku seems to be confident in going into that, but he loses Ultra Instinct as fast as he gained it, and instead, as an end result, Jiren punches this man so hard that Goku almost got eliminated. He actually got hit so hard that Goku is literally covered in rocks. He's by the edge of the ring. He's in fact right where Jiren originally wanted to knock him out from, where he delivered that hammer strike, so Goku's body is basically lying there for Jiren to take apart. Which again, I want to go on ahead and emphasize the fact that we are going to be covering the full English translations here, but this is just completely wacky. But there is lots of information to support Ultra Instinct Omen, there is lots of information to support Roshi in dodging Jiren's attacks, and there's also an explanation to support the idea of Gohan and Kefla having to ring each other out. So it looks like by the very end of this, Frieza, 17, Vegeta, and Goku are going to be the only ones remaining, as we see Dispo, Topo, and Jiren having to be the last remaining warriors of their universe having to stand. This is going to end in some clusterfuck because we haven't seen Hakai Shin Topo yet, we haven't seen Super Saiyan Blue Evolution Vegeta yet, we haven't seen, the effects of Lightspeed Dispo yet, we haven't seen Master UI yet, and we haven't seen Jiren at full power yet. So this is all going to come to a head at some point in the near future, perhaps maybe in the next 2 to 3 months. So I want to know in the comment section below, how do you guys feel about Master Roshi surviving Jiren? How do you guys feel about the double elimination? How do you guys feel about this manga as a whole? Do you guys think that perhaps maybe Toru isn't writing this the way that people have anticipated? Do you guys believe that perhaps maybe he's trying to cater or rush or do something that's just egregious to the concept of the Tournament of Power portrayal that we saw in the anime that people aren't really gravitating towards? What do you guys feel are the mistakes that Toru is making? And for those of you who love the concept of this manga chapter, what were some of your favorite moments? Let us know in the comment section below. Thank you all so much for watching, guys. Once again, if you guys are new to this channel, punch that subscribe button, turn on all notifications, leave a like down below if you guys are stoked, ready, and excited for this full manga chapter in English and for the events in which you guys have saw today. Let me know what you all think. Follow me on Twitter at UnrealEntGaming. Thank you all so much for watching once more, and I'll be checking you guys in the comment section. Cue my legendary outro, bitch.
This is the Galactic Emperor of the Universe, and of course I'm here to tell you to subscribe to UnrealEntGaming and all his social media platforms. Also, don't forget to turn on notifications so you can be the first to know every time that he uploads a new video.
Oh, did someone say UnrealEntGaming? Oh my god.
The fuck, Zarbon? Put on some clothes!
Well, why don't you put on any clothes?
What? I don't need clothes. Jesus Christ, that's huge!